You guys ready? Green on. Good morning, chili dogs. What you focus on? Grows. Feed them horses. Three more pots coming your guys' way. I'm gonna be getting over there in just a second. The clay is kind of at the perfect consistency, so I'm looking forward to see what we create today. See you over there. Green off. Camera B. Push down. A little water. Hand right up underneath that edge. Slowly project that clay forward. There we go. A little more water. Again, right to the bottom. Project that forward. Some water on the inside here. No rabbits. Great. We're gonna open this up here. Hello. Smooth out this base here. Okay, we got that all base all smoothed out. We get it pretty thin because we're not wiring this off. Alright, I'm gonna hold my right hand up on top. Camera C. Hey guys, me Mr. Llama here. Let's get into our first volcano bowl. Camera B. There we go, first pull. So now I'm going to project that inward just a little bit, slowly allowing my finger on the inside to be projected above that finger on the exterior, and then walking up this bump. The top is where it's thin there, so I got to be careful. You can see that it wants to add a lot of tension because it was uneven clay there too. Okay. Camera B. Alrighty. Camera A. So you can kind of see, and there's a little hollow space in here, right? And so it's almost like it's a double-walled vessel. But that's just because it was so thin, so it ended up collapsing instead of being able to hold itself up on that edge there. So it's kind of interesting looking at it from the interior, because from the exterior it looks like all the normal trees, but from this interior space there's that weird fold that's happening. It might look like it's going in, but it's actually just pulling this backwards slowly. That causes the center to go inward because that left hand is pushing forward. Right? And there you go. Camera B. There we go. Right down to the bottom, grab your knuckle, and get ready to project that clay inwards just a little bit. Let a couple of onion rings come off the clay. I don't freak out, I just let those come off and I continue to pull. Here we go, project that inward slowly. Allow those fingers on that interior to make its way above the fingers on the exterior. And right about here we're going to get to that thin spot, so we're going to slowly dissipate that bump. I can feel this one wanting to die. So it's just so thin on this top, right? And twist that up, and then hopefully right underneath I get something a little bit nicer. I just wanted this to be not as wide, but we gotta hold it kind of like a frisbee here if we want this to come down. Okay, little mushroom pot. Skip one, this in. Skip one, this in. On. Camera B. There we go. A little bit of water. Push this in. Counteract any of that wobble on the top there. A little bit thin, so that right there is danger zone. You see how thin it is and how thicker it is above the top? And so this is going to be nerve-wracking, but I'm going to hold my fingers here just so I can try to blend in some of that clay. Okay. Tilt this over to the top. Bring that up over, hold that clay, and slowly bring that in. And you're going to see wherever that wants to wobble, you're going to lower that right hand, counteract that wobble, bring that back up. I'm going to set on center, need some more water. You can see the wobbles right there. Tilt it over, counteract that wobble, bring that up to that left hand. Again, right down to the bottom, counteract that wobble, bring that up to that left hand. There you go. You ready? Hold on. Hello? Yeah. What is it? Who's coming? Camera B? Hey guys, me, Mr. Llama here. We're getting ready for another volcano pull, the last one of the day. Let's see what we got cooking up for us. I'll see you guys in a second. Green. Oh wait, why'd I say green? Stop looking at me. Right to the bottom. Slowly walking this back towards myself. I'm gonna make that volcano. Llamas love volcanoes, guys. I didn't know if you knew that, but they love volcanoes. You see a llama, you ask him, do you like volcanoes? He loves volcanoes. Okay. Take a breath. Push that in just a little bit. Project that right over top. Find that bump. And then walk that up. And you're going to get probably almost to the top here, and you're going to slow this down a little bit. There we go, guys. Stop. Now to make a couple of rotations to start a new center point. Once you have that new center point, slow that wheel down again. And then go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 5 actually. Okay. Now you're gonna have this top. You're gonna slow down, hold this top edge here, and slowly bring this out. Kiss that rim. And there you go, guys. And wiggle. Bring it in. And then wiggle. Then we gotta clean up the base. Kind of interesting. All the pots today were sprouted from a failure to some degree, right? So you'll see them all in a second, but let's get into it. We're gonna start off with this one. Today's whole concept, I think, is failures, right? And so how do you deal with those things, and what can you find out of the failures, right? And so if I'm looking at this one, I did a buffer with a tree on the top, and so you can see the spiral buffer and then the twist for the veins on the tree on the top edge there. So it's split half and half. I think the balance of it's kind of nice. But if I look on the top tendrils, when I was cutting those tendrils to give it a double tendril, when I was pulling my knuckle out, I didn't have any water on my knuckle, so it didn't slide. It actually was tacky and stuck to my finger, and I ripped both the tendrils off when I made them. Kind of sad, but instead of letting them kind of just like off the side and be discarded, what can I do with them? I have never done one where I have two tendrils kind of sticking out over top of the treetops, and so I think this was kind of an interesting idea. I don't think it's really like hitting home that it's not really a great pot, so to speak, right? But I think it has great potential, right? And so sometimes you got to follow those little breadcrumb trails to new ideas, right? And so I think that's what I'm getting from this one, is I'd want to play around with stuff coming out of that top a little bit more. Anyway, let's get over to this one. So this one I went way too thin, and I actually had to buckle it down, so it almost looked like a double-walled rim on there, right? It was very thin, and so you can see after a while when the water started overhydrating that pot, all of a sudden that it just fell over, right? But what does that do, right? First, that allows us easier access to that interior spiral. So you can see that kind of up in that top image up there, so you can see into that spiral a little bit easier. I also think when this rim stops functioning as a rim, right, and it dips over, to me it almost looks like a framing device. And what is it framing? It's framing that twist, that spiral on the inside there. Again, it's a failure, but there's something to be said about the way that the rim is functioning on that vessel there, right? So I actually kind of like that one. And then we have another failure on the top. So this one, if you remember, guys, I was pulling out that top, but it was way too thin, and so what I did is I held that top, did a manual twist down, create a new point to start pulling off of, and then I totally just, frisbee held and brought that down to give it that mushroom look, right? Again, when I look at these things as failures, and you look at all the things that you do in your life as failures, don't necessarily think them as just a dead stop. No, they're a one attempt in an idea. So if something doesn't work out the first time, if you fail 10 times, if you look at all those failures, those 10 failures, I guarantee you'll find one that you like more than the others. Investigate that. Why? And that's where you find new ideas and potential. Thank you so much for watching. All the best. Strong mentality. Let's wheel.